Mangal Maitri students. Today we'll revise the network security. So, as you know, in the modern age of network information system, computer are not only the capable to storing the processing data, but also it delivers the information and increase the connectivity of information system. So there are some risk of privacy, theft, and misuse of information. So information and network security commonly refers to the protection of data and network from various threats. It covers the following steps. The number one is confidentiality, that is the protection against unauthorized access, and the second is integrity. It protect against unauthorized modifications. If somebody has stole your data, then it may try to make some changes into it or modifications to it, so it is authenticated. It's called the integrity. Then the authentication or identification of authorized users. And there are some other security threats are like snooping. It refers to the unauthorized access of someone else's data, email, computer activity, or data communication. It may comprise monitoring of keystrokes pressed, capturing the passwords and login informations, interception of emails, and other private informations. The next security threat is eavesdropping. It's the act of secretly listening or interpreting someone else's private communication or information while data is on its way on the network. So, beware, if somebody is talking on the phone or just making a call, then you must not listen it. It's a crime. Okay, then spamming. The spamming refers to the sending of bulk mail or junk mail. Normally, you see it in the spams, or there is a column in your email ID that is called spam by identified or unidentified sources. There are so many mails inside it. Some are adverts, some are some offers, and all this. The next security threat is phishing, and that phishing is the process of attempting to acquire sensitive information like your password, your username, credit card number, bank account details, and using a trap mail also is there, where you just click on that particular mail link and your data will be copied into inside it. So this is very dangerous basically. So you must be very much aware while you using these digital formats. Denial of service or DOS attacks are those attacks that prevent the legitimate users from accessing unauthorized resources and information. This type of attacks may eat up all the resources of the system and computer become a halt state. Sometimes your computer hanged while you're working on internet, so beware. What to then question is that what you should do while you just face this such type of attacks, that you must switch off your system at once. Some says that your hard drive or motherboard may get crushed. Okay, it could be repaired by just spending some money, but while your information is priceless, so you must go for it. So these are the basic network security threats that we generally used for. The next is the some malicious programs are there. These are the as we know that the worst idea comes in the brilliant minds. This is a phrase that been said. Similarly, the viruses and all the malicious programs are also a program that been developed by the programmers. Even some of the company hired these persons to make the virus, then after the antivirus. So it's a business now. So some malicious programs are like Trojan horse. You may have listened to this name. It's a program that appears harmless, like a utility program, but it actually performs malicious functions such as deleting the or damaging the files. in your system. The second is spyware. Spyware is a program designed to spy on your activities, what you are doing on your system, and the data the people willing to pay it either legal or illegal purpose. They just sell your data or information to them. It is getting installed in your system without your consent, and file or gets downloaded from the website or internet. The next is virus. The computer virus are the malicious program itself, replicating the codes. It may sometimes multiplied by itself, and it is very dangerous, like COVID-19 nowadays, that spread one by one. Similarly, while virus programs are traveled by the copied version of any software, any file, any mail. So we generally, what we should do, we should must have in our systems, either on our mobile systems or on our desktop or laptop systems, and authenticated antivirus to trace it. The next is adware. This is, as you know, it's a commercial service, commercial word, and here is everything is done for the gaining the benefits. So some companies would plan that they make some common messages of advertising, and then they send it in the bulk in the mails. So where do now the question is, where do they get your addresses and all these information? I told you earlier in the same here that they sold your data. Some companies sold your data. They stole your data by the spyware, then sold your data. Some companies on very minor prices. So then they got your mail ID, and then they started to send this type of data, the adwares. So some are the cookies. Also, is there cookie is a message that given to the web browser by the web server, and the web browser store these messages in a text file which keeps track of users activity. And generally cookies do not act as malicious functions but are major source of threat to privacy, because by accessing cookies the private and confidential information can be theft or misused. So we should use these cookies very safely or very intensively, that these settings must be checked time by time. Now the question next question is the what are the then what we should do, what the tools we can use for network security. So the first tool or the first step in the network security is authentication and authorization. Authentication means that your data should be authenticated, and it should be installed on an appropriate place. And authorization is that you must have some settings for this, that only for example you may mention a username and a password. So only authorized person knows it, and then only your data can be accessed. Generally username and password in combination is used to provide better security. Username and password is used to identify the legitimate users and grant permission or authentication to access the information on system. So this is the best way to use. That is the login name, maybe there is a OTP or one time password is also a part of it. Next is biometric identification or the physical authentication. Here we trace some biometric or biological body indications. For example, fingerprints, for example, eye recognition, retina scan, and voice recognition, face recognition. All these are the biometric identification. To provide more strong security, a system may have a biometric devices to identify a person's unique biological properties, like fingerprints, and then retina scan, voice scan, or face recognition, which cannot be transferred or stolen by others, although it has not been impossible, but generally can't. And the next is antivirus and malicious programs. These programs prevent the system from various malicious programs like virus, worms, spyware, and Trojan horses, etc. The antivirus program monitor all running processes and activities and notify that user in case of suspicious activities. It to make a threat, and it make a message, and then display it on your screen that you are in danger and all, and then you can just be out, close that particular, or you may exit from that particular application or what. So antivirus program must be updated regularly. It is very essential. Sometimes the people once install the antivirus and then they forget, and they said that why it is the virus, we already installed the antivirus but you not updated it, but you not updated it time by time, then it is useless. So be aware of it. We must be use these modern digital equipments very smartly. The antivirus program must be updated regularly to provide better services. Some commonly used antivirus programs are Quick Heal, Avast, Norton's, McAfee, etc. Another security feature is CAPTCHA. What is CAPTCHA? CAPTCHA is completely automated public Turing test to tell computer and human apart. It means that you generally just seen in a statement that I'm not a robot on the capture screen. What is it? It just mean to check that a human being is using it. And then a question is arose, except a human being, anybody can use it. If somebody is not seeing or aware about this program, until you just type that captcha, till then it scans your information properly. So it's a program that displays distorted text images as a challenge, that which can be read by human beings only. It ensures that the website program is being accessed by the human being and not by the malicious computer programmers, that we call generally bots. Generally we go through it. Then next thing is the firewall. It's a very important setting that prevent us from unauthenticated access. So firewall is a security system which acts like a gatekeeper or a security wall to protect computer or network from unauthorized access. So it monitors the network access as per rule defined by the network administrator. All the requests entering or leaving the LAN pass through the firewall, which examine each request and block those that do not meet the security criteria, for example, and not match the digital signal, digital certificates number, and the user IDs and password and all. The file access permissions, the first authority that it gave, the file and folder must be stored and shared on the network and may have limited access permissions like read, modify, create, and execute rights as per need of the other user in the network. Intrusion detection system, called IDS. It is a system that identifies various type of intrusion or access attacks and monitor the user's activities and network resources. It notifies to authentications also, like the digital signals and all. So we generally do this with the help of digital signal and digital certificates. Now the question is, what is the difference between digital signals and digital certificate? Though it is not now a part of your syllabus, but I am just telling you. The digital signature is a method of providing authenticity to a message, and digital certificate is a public key certificate, is an electronic document which uses digital signatures and requires to public key or password to open and encode and document, for example, for your ITRs and all. So these are the basic difference. Now the cyber crime or cyber laws, and this is a very important part, as we know that so many type of authentication that it does. Then what does it do? So cyber crime or cyber refers to any crime wherein the computer is either a tool or a target or both. Some forms of cyber crimes are number one, creating and sending spam mails, posting offensive messages or social networking portals, hacking of computers, cracking the security systems, unethical financial transactions, fraud through the internet, harassment through the emails or web messages, cyber terrorism, creation and propagation of virus, worms, or trojans, etc. Like traditional crime such as theft, fraud, forgery, defamation, and mischiefs. And cyber are also called the cybercrime. Defamation is also a cybercrime. You can't comment on anybody's photograph while you are just watching the somebody's wall, and you just start commenting in the malicious way. So I just tell you that it's a crime, and under the act, IT Act 2000, uh, you may be got a very good imprisonment of the 6 months, and the charges for the 5,000 rupees for this. So while we are writing this, as I told you many times in class also, that using these digital formats also comes with a responsibility. As we using social medias and the digital platforms, we must have to understand a sense of our responsibility to that we are what we are transmitting into society. Either is a negative thought or it's a valuable information, it should be. So basically, for what the digital platforms developed for sharing the information, not to sharing the malicious thoughts, illegal activities. So to prevent it, in India there is Technology Act 2000 provides legal support to the computer users against these cyber crimes, and it also deals with intellectual property rights on internet. So students, that's all for today, and I hope that you go through for this such type of revision, as I already given you notes in the earlier for this topic, with the help of video and the PDF also. So you must revise these, and hope you will do better in your exams from starting from tomorrow. uh, so best of luck for your exams for PA1. Thank you, have a nice day.